Wi-Fi is in a room that doesn't even have light. So
that's okay. You can get a flashlight.
Yeah.
Phone. Okay.
I don't know why they put the internet down there, by the way. I'll just tell you that right now. So
we're talking about after hours on the Friday show, so stay tuned.
All right. Well, I'm glad I figured out that problem.
Yep, that is the issue. Okay, so let's get cracking because we're like a half hour behind and people want some questions, and we got some.
We're 15 minutes behind. I'm not a half hour, so don't over-exaggerate.
Stomach scrolling, whatever. Okay, 1407. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1407 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the jolly old agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. I guess it's that season now. I guess I can be a jolly old agent, elf.
You're old.
Hey, that's what we do. We make magic kind of like the elf. So anyway, we are here to answer your listener questions. Going to have a great time here on a Wednesday. Hope this show finds you well. The crew's all here. We've got great questions lined up to knock down. We've got a great live audience here on Be Live, which you can join us on Mondays around 5:30 Eastern most weeks. We're having a great time. So joining me today from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and The Mouse for Less. And rumor has it she might be working for the Geek Squad soon. We have Ricky. What's up, Ricky?
I hate technology. But thank God for pucks. So if it wasn't for having a puck, I wouldn't be able to do this. So that's good news.
In Ethernet cords.
Ethernet cords and pucks.
Okay. That's it. All right.
Yes.
So getting ready for the big folks coming down for Thanksgiving, I guess, next week?
They are coming down tomorrow. So they're coming into town, and Casey comes into town. Casey and Kurt come into town on Tuesday. So it's going to be a full house for sure. It's going to be fun though.
I've seen too much of that show. Don't need to say anymore.
Full House. Pam hasn't. Pam can watch it all the time.
All right. Also, speaking of Pam, we have Pam Forster, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday, Pam. What's up?
Happy Wednesday. Glad to be talking. So I'm excited to do the question show today. And then also on Friday's show, we're going to be talking about the holiday stuff, which I leave soon.
Oh.
Experience. So I'm
jealous.
really excited about that. This year, more than anything, like they've taken what used to be like Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which used to be sort of the highlight of all the holiday events, and they've stretched it out into things that happen at just about all of the parks now. Like it's so much more than it used to be. And we were just saying before we started recording that it used to be only Disneyland that got this like list of all these cool foods and snacks that people could have over certain, holidays and events and stuff like that. Well, Walt Disney World has a whole huge one too. So anyways, I'm excited about this show, but I'm teasing next show.
Friday is going to be interesting because we do want to have a discussion. You can bring in New Year's. They just announced over at Fort Wilderness. You got this special event in Tony's Town Square area with inside Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So many treats, the cute popcorn buckets that are the aliens. It really, this year among, I've been watching this for 10, 12 years with the holiday season coming to Walt Disney World, but this year especially, they are tempting you hard to get down there. And it's working, I think. The crowds are gathering. I think people want to go. It's a foodie destination for sure this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, it is. When they put out those lists of like, here's all the new food that you can try, it's like, oh, I think I need to try like 50% of these things.
Yes, exactly.
I think I need that pine cone. Anyway, we'll talk about that on Friday. So let's get to the listener questions. We've got some questions in the email. We've got some questions in the chat. We're going to get to as many as we can. First question comes all the way from the UK. It's from Rena. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. My husband and I are traveling across the pond from the UK to visit my parents for Thanksgiving in less than 10 days. At the end of our trip, we'll be spending 1 day at the Magic Kingdom Park and staying overnight at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. But we're also planning to visit each of the resorts in the Magic Kingdom area to see their Christmas decorations. We've never been to Walt Disney World during the holiday season, so I'd like to plan to make the experience as magical as possible. In your opinions, am I correct in thinking that it would be best to view the Christmas tree at Disney's Wilderness Lodge at night? We're planning to take a boat across from the Magic Kingdom after Happily Ever After and enjoy a festive drink at Wilderness Lodge after seeing the tree. Would Territory Lounge be the best place for this? We would have done a monorail loop to view the other Magic Kingdom area resorts that afternoon. Could you help ease my mind that we're doing this the right way? Thanks for all the great Disney info and laughs you provide on a weekly basis. Kind regards, Rana. All right, so Pam, what do you think? I mean, they're talking about doing the monorail loop in the afternoon, going to the Magic Kingdom, doing the Magic Kingdom stuff, happily ever after to close out the night, then heading over to Wilderness Lodge, maybe a drink at Territory Lounge. Any suggestions here for that 1 day, 1 night?
I love the idea, of course, of Territory Lounge. That's one of my favorite places to go. So I think that that's great. That's a great place to start. And I think being able to see the Wilderness Lodge at the holidays makes it even more special. Don't you guys agree? I mean, it takes the Wilderness Lodge and cranks it up to, and it's
11. It cranks it up to 11.
On a scale of 1 to 10 during the holidays, it's an 11 plus. I will just say, because it's just such a great resort, and the holiday theme just sort of fits with that resort, I think. So love that option. So looking forward to seeing all those decorations for sure.
And the great thing about going over to Wilderness Lodge to see the views after, I think they're doing this the exact right way after Happily Ever After, is that, a resort doesn't close. So you can do that late at night, and get that drink before the lounge closes, but those stay open late, past midnight. So that's great. The only other thing I might consider, just to throw one more variable in there, is if the weather is nice, which it could be. That it's November 26th, the day before my birthday, is that if it's a nice night, head out to Geyser Point and get a drink out there, because you're going to go back to the UK and you're going to be stuck for like 6 months of terrible weather, just like here in Missouri. So if you can sneak out one more night where you can have a drink outside in palm trees and cool breezes, do that after you see the tree. Ricky, any other thoughts on this?
I think they have a great plan. Wilderness Lodge is seriously one of my favorite places to be for the holidays. It's so cozy. You get the fireplace, and the whole place just screams like Christmas with the tree up and everything. So I think they have a great plan, and Territory Lounge is a fantastic place to stop for that drink. Although, like I said, Geyser Point may be good. It depends on the weather, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's going to depend. If it's still warm out, then yeah, head on down to Geyser Point, because you can see potentially the electric water pattern too, which would be nice. So depending on the time. So that's what I suggest.
The electric water pageant goes scarily close to Geyser Point. Like, it's like right there. It's like in your face. It's really, really close. So a couple times I saw it there. All right, next question. We're going to go to the chat here from Natalie. It says, I have tickets for early morning Fantasyland and have the breakfast at Cosmic Race. However, I already have a reservation at Be Our Guest for breakfast. Where should I go for breakfast that morning? All right. So, Pam, what do you think there? She's got the tickets for early morning magic, the Fantasyland thing, but she's also got Be Our Guest. What should she do?
I think you got to stick with what's included in the thing you already paid for. If you want to know the truth, that's what all three of us would do probably. So if you really want to go to Be Our Guest for breakfast, you can try to schedule that another morning. I realize it's a little challenging. The only reason I would make that a must do for breakfast is if you haven't had an opportunity to see inside the castle and that you really want to do that. But I would definitely try to make it either for breakfast or lunch on another day. Absolutely include the breakfast that's included with your early morning magic ticket. You'll enjoy that. You've already paid for it. And take advantage of that, I say.
All right, let's get to the next question here in the chat. It's from Jillian. It's kind of a personal question, which I think is kind of interesting. What's your favorite character interaction you've ever had, and who would you recommend as a must-see character down at Walt Disney World? So my favorite character, just like overall favorite character, is Buzz Lightyear, because I've, worked at Space Camp. I'm a space nut. Toy Story is my movie. That's like the story of my life with all those toys. But I don't know if that was my favorite interaction. What I think, I don't know, because my favorite interactions have typically been more with like Main Street characters or Streetmosphere characters at the studios. Like, those are my favorite character interactions. But if you're talking about Disney characters, I'll have to think about that one. Pam, do you have one that comes to mind and must-dos that you don't want to miss?
So what's funny is I remember when Anna and Elsa first started appearing at Walt Disney World, and we, went ahead and did that because, of course, it was the newest thing, right? And so it was something that everyone did. But they actually are both really good when you meet them, and there's something about meeting with the characters that can actually interact with you more face to face, can talk with you and ask you questions and things like that. Not that all the characters aren't wonderful. Like, it's awesome. Like, I remember when you used to meet with Stitch and stuff like that, he would always do something bad or something like that. All the characters are wonderful, but there's something about the characters that can actually talk with you that I think adds just another level to the interaction. So I really enjoy the princesses. I think even if you're not a princess person, they're really great to see. Other ones that are my favorite are Mary Poppins. Love meeting with Mary Poppins. And I love when she appears sometimes with Bert. When you're there with Mary Poppins and Bert together, that's great. And I love meeting with Alice too. I think that Alice, they always have the sweetest person with the sweetest Alice voice there. And just love her. Love having the chance to interact with Alice.
All right, Ricky, any thoughts for your favorite character interactions and must-dos?
So I had a really great character interaction just recently on my recent trip because I went to go meet Rapunzel, and I was dressed in my Rapunzel dress. So that was a really great interaction because, she was really excited that I was there and that I, was resembling her. So that was really cool recently. But one of my favorite character interactions, well, besides Brian's favorite character interaction for me, which is when I met Figment, the large Figment that they had at one point, I also met the little Figment when I was a kid. But one of my favorite other character interactions was when I did the 1900 Park Fair character dinner with the stepsisters. They are a riot, like so much fun. I absolutely highly suggest going to see the stepsisters for the 1900 Park Fair. They're only there at dinner, not at breakfast. And then another character meal that always has good character interaction is Garden Grill too, because the characters, you get to see them quite a few times. So once you get the pictures taken, then when they start coming around for the second or the third time, they start having a little more fun with you. So that's kind of good too. So.
They kind of they can't talk, but they say, get out of my restaurant. You've had your food.
Yeah. Well, Chip and Dale were very excited about what they made me. So,
All right. The next question says, help me from balding. About ready to pull my hair out. This is from Trisha. So we don't want anybody going bald unless you want to. I'm trying to figure out the park times, factoring in extra magic hours versus early morning magic hard ticket events. It's maddening. Specifically for February 10th, 2019. I have a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique reservation for my 5-year-old at 8 a.m. in the Magic Kingdom. Now I see that you can purchase tickets for early morning magic hours for the same day. How will this impact my reservation? We are not going to be purchasing tickets for this. So what do we do after the appointment is done? I'm assuming the park isn't open until 10 that day. Trisha's up in Wisconsin. All right, Ricky. So I would imagine the park would open at least by 9. So yes. I would say they've in Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutiques, at least in our experience. I mean, it seems like it takes forever when Mallory used to do that. Thank goodness she's past it. Yes. A lot of money.
Okay. So the early morning magic is different than the extra magic hours. So early morning magic is that hard ticket event that only takes place in Fantasyland right now at the Magic Kingdom. And during the event, guests who have purchased tickets for that get to go to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Peter Pan's Flight, and they get to go to Winnie the Pooh. I believe in December, though, they'll start to add 3 more attractions. And I don't remember what they are offhand. So, but I do know I think they're adding 3 more attractions. So, I don't remember which ones. So I'm a terrible person. But anyway, I'm a terrible blogger, but that's okay. So you won't really have any issues, more or less, because the park will open at 9 o'clock. So those people, they get there they get an hour and a half, I think, of attractions, and then they have the ability to go eat at I think it's Pinocchio's Village House right now. So they'll go eat there. So there's not really too much that will impact your reservation at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. This is really just a small group of people that will be in the park ahead of the official park opening.
All right, that's good stuff. Yeah, so you'll just be able to go out into the park after, because you'll be at least by 9 o'clock by the time you're done. It'll be after 9. It's probably about 9:50, 9:30, if I had to guess. All right, next question. Good day from the land down under. 32 days before we arrive at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the first ever Disney trip for my family with my wife and 16-year-old daughter and 13-year-old son. Think about how awesome that has to be, a first Walt Disney World vacation coming from Australia. That's going to be awesome.
That is awesome.
Here's what continues. I went to Disneyland in 1987 with my parents when I was 12, and it was the most unmagical family holiday ever. Being a small child in Australia, our only real Disney experiences were watching Wonderful World of Disney every single Sunday evening as a family event. Tinkerbell flies around the castle, sprinkles her fairy dust, and it all seems so wonderful and magical. Well, pre-internet days, and we arrived to see the castle covered in scaffolding for repairs. Space Mountain, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He put 2,000, but I'm guessing it was all 20,000 of them. And even the teacups were all closed down for over the 3 days we were there. At least Captain EO and Star Tours was running. Well, hey, Blake, you got Captain EO. Come on now. What do you want? You don't need Castle or Space Mountain. What do you? Anyway, fast forward 30 years, and my mother loses a very short battle with cancer. Before she left, we had talked about that previous trip, and she made me promise that we would give her grandchildren a trip that was pure magic. So I'm hoping to do that as I've put this trip together. I love this idea already. This is awesome. So here's what it is. Check this out. Everybody's going to be jealous. 14 days at Animal Kingdom Lodge. 10 park days plus Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, all the amazing ADRs we wanted. First overseas trip for my son and first time to the U.S. for the rest of my family. I've watched and followed so many YouTube vlogs, read thousands of blogs, have a well-worked on touring plan, fast pass modify techniques, rope drop routes sorted. Whew, I need a holiday already, he says. Anyway, to my question. We scored free Disney dining, and I can't find info on how we actually use it with our magic bands. When we scan our band at, say, a quick service, does it know we want to use our Disney dining plan, or do we have to tell the cast member? With table service and the tip, a new thing for Australians, do we need cash, or can we use a credit card attached to our magic band? All right, this has got one other question, but let's stop there. He's got two. So explain, Pam, how they're on free dining, and if you buy the dining plan, it works exactly the same. It's not like it's noted different once you're on your vacation. It's just kind of the bottom line of what you pay. So work Blake through this, because again, even tippings, I guess I'm going to go to Australia. No, I don't mind tipping. Pam was a server, so I got to tip well. And I always do, and you know what? It gets you a table every time when it's crowded. So anyway, explain how this is all going to work. They're going to have an amazing trip.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're going to be using one of the dining plans, and what's great is I would say 95% of servers right now, when you go to order or when you sit down, or they'll say to you, are you using one of Disney's dining plans today? And if you are, you'll just go ahead and say, yep, I am, and let them know that you're using one of the dining plans. And if you have questions, ask the server. They'll be able to sort of guide you through that process. If there's any limitations or there's things you aren't thinking about or whatever. So make sure that you mention it to them. Then again, when you go to pay, they'll scan your magic band and they'll pull the entitlements off for the meals that you're using. And on the receipt, you'll actually get to see what the suggested tip is. So remember that. And the receipt will also show you how many, for instance, if you're using table service credits, how many table service credits you have remaining for the rest of your stay. So it's actually a really easy thing to use and take advantage of.
Yeah, it's super simple. I mean, you'll just tell them you're on the plan. Boom, they'll take the credit and keep track. Go ahead, Ricky.
They can use a credit card to pay the tip, right? I think that's one of the questions that they were asking. So yes.
Disney will take your money really anyway.
Yeah.
He says, if I can sneak in a second quick question, how many special event badges can we get? And is that just for the Magic Kingdom? It's my wife and my 20th wedding anniversary, first visit, and doing it in memory for my mom. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks heaps. Blake is, check this out, 15,207 kilometers or 9,449 miles from the world. Blake, it's great to meet you, buddy. Thanks for writing in from Australia. That makes my day. So, Ricky, what's the rules with the badges, or the, as we call them here in the United States, pins, the celebration?
Or buttons.
Buttons. Yeah, buttons. I don't even know what they're called. Shoot, I'm from
Yeah,
Missouri.
apparently. Yeah, you don't know what they're called either. Guess what? You can get as many buttons as you would like. So if you want an anniversary button, you can get that. If you want, kind of an in memory button, that you can get that, and you can get a first time button. You can get as many buttons as you want. You're all good.
It is. Yep. All right, let's go back to the chat. We love our chatters. Hey, Mike, we're deciding to fly down 2 days early for our February vacation. Last time we stayed in a car suite because of sleeping arrangements with our small kids. Any recommendations for similar accommodations at that price level? So, Pam, they're looking for something kind of similar to the Cars family suite. Maybe something, there's not a whole lot of options other than All-Star Music, but I would.
Right. All-Star Music does have family suites as well, and sometimes those are available when the car suites aren't. The great news about the family suites available at Disney's Art of Animation Resort is that you can choose between 3 different themes. So they have car suites, they have Nemo suites, and they also have Lion King suites. So let's say you just wanted to try a different theme, but you loved the setup of that resort. Why not try like a Nemo suite or a Lion King suite? Mm-hmm. And then you'll be able to see that. But the other resort that has the kind of split sleeping arrangement, which is what most parents really appreciate, is All-Star Music. They also have family suites available. Now, the other thing you might want to consider is Fort Wilderness Cabins.
That's what I was thinking, yep. Yep.
So they have, in addition, they have a full kitchen, by the way, instead of the kitchenette that's available at the family suites. They have a separate bedroom that has a queen bed and bunk beds. And then they also have a pull-out couch that's in the living room. So that's something you may want to consider, but make sure you look at the room diagram to see if that's actually going to work for you. Those are over at the Mouse for Less in the resort section. You can see those. We still keep those room diagrams, although they're getting more and more challenging to find.
Yeah.
But anyways, I guess Disney feels like people may not want to see that. And I'm always like, that's the most valuable piece of information right there, right? The other thing you might want to consider is a 1-bedroom, although that's going to be a lot pricier. But it does have, again, a full bedroom. It has a full kitchen, it has a living room, areas, things like that, and those are available at the resorts that are deluxe villas. So that's almost all the deluxe resorts at this point.
So what I would say too is when you're considering a cabin at Fort Wilderness, and this is why I have not stayed there yet, is that you got to make sure that the family is into that style of accommodation. Where my wife needs a food court,
yeah,
she needs the hotel like stay. She doesn't want to deviate from like the Marriott or the Hilton. Like what you get at a typical hotel. Like she wants it to be close. She wants to be able to go down and get something to drink out of the soda machine. The Fort Wilderness thing is amazing and it's great. I would do it in a heartbeat, but she said nope. So I've got the big veto. So you just got to make sure everybody's good. But the pricing is going to be similar, and you'll get slightly more space in the bigger, full kitchen and stuff like that. So it's something to look into. All right. So the next question is from Carrie up in Wisconsin. She says, "Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky, I'm planning for a multi-generational trip for the first time and have a couple questions." He says this about our Fast Pass selection date is fast approaching. My family of 4 with kids ages 9 and 11 will be arriving January 26th, a day ahead of our grandparents, who will arrive at MCO at 11 a.m. the following day. We're planning on rope dropping Magic Kingdom for extra magic hours that morning starting at 8, then leaving to meet up with the grandparents when they arrive at the resort Coronado Springs. We will then all head to Epcot, where we'll have dining reservations at 6:20 p.m. I'm thinking that we should just book Fast Passes that day for Epcot for all 6 of us beginning in the afternoon. I know this will mean no Fast Passes for the morning at Magic Kingdom, but it will allow us to all ride together and hopefully have shorter Fast Pass lines, which will be good for the grandparents. Does this sound like a good plan? What time do you think we should schedule our first Fast Passes that day? Is 3 p.m. too early? Thanks so much for your help. I look forward to listening to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. It's the best way to commute to work. Carrie's up in, Wisconsin cities are hard. Waukesha, Wisconsin. I know I probably screwed that up. We'll say you're in Green Bay. There you go. We're moving you, Carrie. You're in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No, you're in Waukesha. Waukesha. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, Carrie knows. That's what's important, I hope. So I like this plan actually myself, because at the Magic Kingdom, if you get that rope drop, you're going to just knock stuff out like crazy. Especially, I'm not saying anything bad about the grandparents, but when you don't have the grandparents there, you're going to be moving quicker. And you're going to be just like agile and just going. You're going to. It's like a first day too. Like that first day, man, you are so amped up. Like you are just going. You're going to be fine. And then when you get there, it's like money in the bank. You got fast passes. You got shorter waits. You got the grandparents there. You're getting like a great morning and a guaranteed great afternoon and a great meal that night at Epcot. Pam, thoughts? I mean, I think they're right on the right track here.
I do too. I mean, there's so many variables, but I feel like you've kind of taken it all into consideration. And the only thing is, your family best. Like, how you're all going to operate best together. So is it going to be too much? Not enough? Just right? I mean, that's something that you'll know as well. And also consider on what day it is as part of your vacation. Like, things are a little more casual or not as intense at the beginning of the vacation, and then as it gets toward the end of the vacation, people are like, okay, I have my list of 35 things I have not done yet.
Clicking, let's give clicking.
Or if you even have to stop to go to the bathroom, you're out. So anyways, think about those things.
This is going to be the most magical, freaking magical 24 hours we've ever had.
That's right. It's all freaking magical.
It is.
Exactly.
It gets more magical as the trip goes on.
More intense, I can tell you that. All right, next question is from Megan in the chat. We're going back and forth from inbox to chat. Best resort to stay when going to Food and Wine and maybe a Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios day. Adulting trip. Ricky, you're the queen of adulting.
Am I an adult? I don't really know.
If you pull out the Ethernet cord, you are adulting. So we're gonna say that. Okay, so they're going for Food and Wine, but they're going to hop to the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios maybe. But adults, where are you staying?
I mean, I would do Beach Club, Boardwalk, or Yacht Club. One of those, I think. Absolutely. 100%. Because you're right there. You're right by the World Showcase. You can, get to Magic Kingdom pretty easily, and then you can walk to Hollywood Studios too. So that's where I'm staying.
Yep. Boom. I would say, if you can swing a deluxe, any of the Epcot Air resorts, if you're looking for the moderate, Coronado Springs. And if you're looking for the value, Pop Century. That's right.
Yeah. I think those are good choices.
Well, all three. All right.
I mean, of course you chose Coronado Springs, by the way. But
it's closest to the Hollywood. It's close to the Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Just giving you trouble.
This title, somebody wants to get to the top of the queue, and it worked. 28 days to my freaking magical vacation.
I love it.
Top of the list, Valerie. All right. Hey, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. We're getting so close to our vacation to the most magical place on earth, and I just had a couple of questions I hope you guys could help me out with. This trip is just myself and my 13-year-old son, and it's his very first trip. I love this first trip. I was thinking of doing a couple of extras to make his trip even more freaking magical, and was wondering your thoughts on the new Disney After Hours for Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. If you were to pick one, which would you do? We were down there for 2 full weeks. What? And that wasn't in the email. And have a few places we're going to check out, including that other place. Have no idea what you're talking about. Was thinking about possibly Kennedy Space Center, but I'm undecided. Is it something we need a full day for? Other than renting a car, how would we get there? Any help you would provide would be amazing. Thank you for your help, and thank you for making the most entertaining podcast out there. Love it. Val's 2,671 miles from Pam, 3,214 from the Magic Kingdom in the cold country of Canada. All right. Well, those Canadians have a mouth on them when they write in. I'm saying, eh? It's like playing hockey. When I used to play hockey, boy, because I played with a lot of Canadians. Whew. I mean, I can't even get into it. We're a family podcast. Well, it's like that. Like it's just a puck. There's no adjective in front of that puck, is there? Maybe there is. Anyway, so
yeah, that rhymes.
Let's say pass the puck, and because I was kind of a puck hog, I could shoot because of forward. Anyway, back to that. Forget my hockey days. So let's get to her question. She's going for 2 weeks. You guys rock. So after hours, we're going to talk about that a little bit on Friday. But Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios, Pam, you're going to the electric chair. Which one are you picking for your last night?
Oh my goodness! Why are we doing that?
I'm just playing. Anyway.
Gosh, do I have to pick a song? My death song?
There's a chainsaw. Rawr! Just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm going to say, oh golly.
There's a right and a wrong answer for this one, I think.
When are they traveling again? When are they traveling?
25 days from today.
Okay, so I'm actually going to pick Hollywood Studios.
Good call.
Because the holiday decorations are going to be up. And we've talked about that ad nauseum about how much we love Hollywood Studio holiday decorations, and they've even added more this year. It's like they're adding new things each year.
Those little dolls are creepy as all get out. I'm not even sure about those things, so I'm terrified by those dolls. Go
back and look at what decorations used to look at during that.
I'm sure. No, I know, but those. I mean, it's fine when they're small little things. Those are like huge, gigantic. Those are terrifying. I'm just saying, those are terrifying.
Let me jump in on that conversation real quick because I was watching the Match Game while I was working the other day. Okay, the 70s show.
Yes, yes.
So there's somebody on the panel. Her name's like Fanny Flack or something. I don't know. She had on a Mickey Mouse sweater. And that Mickey Mouse on that sweater looked like he was coming for you, man. He was, it was worse than that new Mickey Mouse. I'm not a big fan of the new Mickey Mouse, but this one looked like they put that on a sweater that had to scare every kid in the world.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway.
Gene Rayburn story of the day. Pam, so you said Hollywood Studios. Ricky, where would you go?
Okay, so for it's for the Disney After Hours. So I am actually going to choose. I'm going to choose Animal Kingdom. One word, Pandora. You get access to Pandora, and I think that's going to be far and away the better option because I feel like you can still get on the attractions, the Toy Story attractions, which is what's offered for the other Disney After Hours event in Hollywood Studios. I feel like you can get on those pretty easily, sort of in the evening, without having the extra hours. So, but it's still really hard to get on Pandora attractions. So I'm going Pandora.
And I would totally go over to Kennedy Space Center because you have the time. You're there for 2 weeks. You need to rent a car, but you can do that on property at Walt Disney World pretty easily. They'll come pick you up. You can get the car. It's about a 45 to 50-minute drive over to Cocoa Beach, Titusville, Space Coast area. I would do a full day because there's a lot there, and I think your son is the perfect age, 13-year-old. He's going to love it. You are as well if you're any kind of space fan. But plan a full day. And also, you know what? As you leave Kennedy Space Center before you head back to Walt Disney World or Universal, wherever you're heading that night, go down A1A or whatever that is, US 1, where like the Ron John's is and the Cocoa Beach Surf Company. I mean, it's touristy, but it's classic American touristy. And just go down there and just see it. And you should really go into Ron John's. I think everybody should go. It's all junk, but you're like, I need those pops for $9. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
I need that mini surfboard. We have so many of those when we used to drive. Like, it's not a surfboard. It's like I don't know. It's like maybe 2 feet long, but like wakeboard. Wakeboard. And there's not even like big waves out there, but everybody's got them. The fuckers from Missouri thinking they're going to surf. So they got a bunch of those out in the shed. They're fun. All right, next question says holiday road trip to Disney. It is actually spelled like that. It's from Aaron. Hey, BOGP crew. Love the show. Thanks for all you do to make gearing up for a Disney vacation both fun and informative. Tuning into you guys each week has not only helped me plan an epic vacation for my family, but also made all the waiting to get down there so much more bearable. We're kicking off the holidays early by taking our Christmas-obsessed 5-year-old on her very first trip to Walt Disney World, November 9th through the 15th. Hope you're having a good time. We are staying at Port Orleans Riverside and have 6-day park hopper passes. We are road tripping down there, and I would love any tips or tricks, do's or don'ts. There's too many slashes in this thing. Taking your car to Walt Disney World. I have factored transportation time into our plans, but still want to get around the most efficient way possible. Is there a time or situation where, while on property, that you would always drive or never drive? If we drive to a resort, can we hop into a park for a few hours, like park at the boardwalk in the evening and walk to Epcot, or is that a no-go? More specifically, we are going to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party on November 13th and will not be heading to the park that day until much later in the afternoon. Would you drive or take Disney transportation on that night? Thanks a billion. You guys rock. Aaron is in Southern Illinois, 912 long miles from the world. And she says, hashtag, are we there yet? I like that. Lots of slashes. All right. So this has really kind of changed because of the parking fee. You know, I think that I was toying with the idea of driving down for a few days with Mallory because I want to drive my Jeep in the wintertime down there and take the top down for a little bit, or maybe even marathon weekend. But when I factor in, no kidding, when I factor in the price of parking in the price of a Southwest Airlines ticket down there, it really doesn't even make sense to drive down there anymore. With the gas and the parking fees, you're almost coming out ahead flying now, which is bizarre. But they're driving, they're going on the road trip like the Griswolds. Going to have, you know what? There's nothing better than a good road trip. You got to love it. I mean, you got to love it, especially from Southwestern Illinois. You're going the same route I always took. So have fun in Paducah and Chattanooga and Nashville and Atlanta. And, let's see, when you get to Valdosta, you're almost there, but you're really not. You got 4 more hours.
No, you're not. Trust me. Oh, Valdosta, it's my white whale. No.
I used to always say we're going to stop in Valdosta for the night and rest. And I'm like, every time we get to Valdosta, I'm like, oh, dude, we're almost to Florida. Forget it. Just go all the way in. It was, but then you would regret it by the time you got to like Lake City. You're like, oh, stupid.
I know.
Anyway, so,
I have to keep driving through Valdosta though. So, because I mean, I've only been on the road for 3 hours at that point. So,
yeah, Georgia. So, Ricky, you drive.
Still in the state that I'm in.
Here's what I would say though: when you get there with your car, I never drive to the Magic Kingdom. It's a hassle. You got to deal with the TTC. I take a bus because they drop you off right up front. So always, even the Christmas party night, take a bus. Way easy. They frown upon you going to a resort and going into a theme park. You don't want to do that. That's not a good idea. But any other tips, Ricky, that you've learned? Because you typically have your car because you drive down.
I do drive down. So I mean, I have to drive to all the parks because I'm not staying on property. But like you said, Mike, if you are staying on property, I would absolutely take the bus to the Magic Kingdom. I think that's way easier, especially because it drops you off right there. Instead of if you drive, you have to go to the TTC and then you have to take the monorail or boat over. So I would definitely take the bus. But for every other park, really parking at the theme parks is going to be a lot faster for you, I feel like. So, you don't have to wait on the bus to show up and anything like that. So I never have any problems driving to the rest of the other parks. So I think that would be my suggestion, would be to drive.
I would say the same thing. Yeah. I mean, because you can really knock out. Pam, you guys rent a car and you drive to almost everywhere, but is it the same for you, Magic Kingdom? But well, you guys, what do you do? I mean, what's your typical strategy with the car? Because you always have one.
We drive the car almost everywhere. I will say there once in a very long while, I will take we'll take the bus transportation to the Magic Kingdom, just because there is that challenge that you have to park at the TTC and then take the ferry or the monorail over. But other than that, we typically drive. And Steve even likes to drive in that case too. He just feels like he's more in control and we can come and go as we like. And the idea of a packed bus at night, like, it gives him vibes. So
agree.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you gotta think about. It's not always the ride in, it's the ride out.
That's
true. It's true. But here's, another thing that we've learned. And actually, Hannah and I will be down there for a little bit before Thanksgiving, before Steve gets there. And we don't have a car. And one of the things I do is if we happen to stay until park closing, I just hang out a little bit longer. I let, because it's like, it's so weird because it's just like the fireworks end and boom, people are
everybody leaves.
Get out of thing. And if you would just wait like really 20 to 30 minutes, then you really wouldn't have to deal with that. And it's like with all things, I understand people have tired children, they're doing all that. But I just, if you take that simple advice, I think that you save everyone a lot of stress and a little bit of aggravation. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Let's see. We got one last question. Sorry, I got distracted there. This one question we're going to leave for a whole nother show because we've got a great question. That's going to be a show topic from Jamie. But let's get to this one from James. When do corral assignments usually come out for marathon weekend? Usually, Ricky, I don't really pay attention because I don't really worry. Like, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. That's what I've always told myself. I'd say that because like when I get like a P corral and I'm like, man, it would be nice to be in the same zip code as the start line when I'm going to my corral. Because like marathon weekend, they put you down like why am I at the studios? I thought this race started at Epcot. Well, sir, you are. You're just your corral's at the studios. You will get to Epcot by the time you get to the start line. I'm like, but that's 2 miles. They're like, well, you're doing 28.6, sucker. So
Might as well do 2 more. Yeah.
by the time you get dropped off by the buses, it's like 3 more. It's like, this is a Dopey challenge just on Sunday by itself. Anyway, usually about a month out, I think. Ricky, is that about right? You'll see it all over social media.
It'll be everywhere. Yes, yeah, especially if you're in a running group or anything like that. Yeah, you will find out. Hey, they posted the corrals. So yeah, you'll. It's usually about a month before, or so. Month 3 weeks, somewhere around there.
And we're 56 days from Marathon Weekend. So in the next month, we'll know what letter is going to be on your bib. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you start. It's where you finish. And doesn't really matter where you finish as long as you finish. Don't forget that. Tips from Mike.
Hey, Brian says there's no shame in quitting. So,
No shame in quitting when you hit the beach club for Marathon Weekend. Yeah.
That's right.
The finish line. No worries on quitting right now. No worries. We're not going to be better.
Right.
Anyway, all right, it's going to do it for today's questions. Thank you so much. Send those in to mike@beourguestpodcast.com. We'll get to more next Wednesday. But until then, we've got a great sponsor, our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News Disney Edition. Ricky, what are we reading about this week on Theme Park News Disney Edition?
Well, this week has actually been kind of quiet, or at least was. Well, it won't be by the time this has come out, but that's okay. But we are reading about the loss of Stan Lee this week. So, our thoughts are with his family, and, he will definitely be missed. And so, that's kind of the news that I have for this week is the passing of Stan Lee.
It's sad. And he was in his 90s, correct? He was
like 95, which is a fantastic life. I mean, when you think about it, 95, we all should strive to live at, to 95. So, yeah. That's
and
awesome.
He was still
he seemed to be, he was like getting around like super well too. So, good on him.
Yeah, I think it's well said. We could all wish that we could live a life that long and a life that full. So thanks for all the fantasies you created for us. Even though I'm not a Marvel guy, I know that he did a lot, and people were. That's very, very, a very sad loss. All right, don't forget. Also, we have a great Amazon affiliate link. The holidays are getting here. I mean, this year I don't know if it's just me. But people say like Christmas before turkey, like your pad that has gone away this year. There is not a commercial, right? The political commercials ended, and every commercial is Christmas, which I'm a big Christmas fan, so I'm not really complaining too much. But the holidays are here. We're not waiting to Black Friday. Like all the deals are out there, I think, right now. Amazon's offering free shipping on everything, I think, for everybody. So when you do that online shopping at Amazon, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Bookmark it on all your devices. We'd sure appreciate that. It really does help support the show. So again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike. And we've got a great Facebook page at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. And we have a YouTube channel. Check it out, youtube.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. You get all the bonus footage. You get to hear us troubleshoot Ricky's internet woes today.
That's right. Exactly. It's super exciting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of you that were watching. Yeah.
The world cheered when it was awesome. So go check that out as well. And of course, we're going to be back on Friday talking about all the happenings here in the end of 2018 down at Walt Disney World to make your next trip awesome. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great Wednesday, but it's time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. My ear. Okay, let me save that.
Did you hear him? He says meow. Meow. I say hi.
My ear still works. It hurts like anything, but it still works.
Why would your ear hurt?
I have an earache.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hot.
I'll be right back.
Oh, what a earache. Okay, where did I put that? No, don't do that to me, DTA. We'll start as soon as Ricky is back. Thanks, Rinky Stanley Jr. I don't know if it's Ricky or it looks like it's Rinky. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here. Like, I'm just out. Well, you know what? I'm grabbing. But my fridge is like 2 feet away, so I'm getting me a fresh Coke Zero.
There you go.
And I'm back. That wasn't far. That used to be in my classroom.
Your refrigerator.
Yep, my mini fridge.
I like being able to see you guys. It's nice. Helpful seeing your faces and reading the comments.
Lots of comments on the show. All righty. Here we go.
We got this.
Oh, War Eagle, Rinky. Roll Tide. All right, here we go. 14:08. It's Friday. It's the Friday before Black Friday.
That's right.
Friday. This is the official kickoff to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving will be within a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's thrilling, Eric. It's thrilling. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1408 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. And as I said on Wednesday, one of the happy little elves over at the Magic for Less Travel, making magic for guests all day, every day. That's what we do. During the holiday season, we grow big ears. We get pointy hats. No, we probably just wear slippers and just, talk on the phone all day and work on our computers. But you know what? It's whatever. It's all theater of the mind. You can picture whatever you want. I will grow some pointy ears and put on a hat if you need me to. I'll do whatever you need because I'm going to
took a really weird turn. I'm just going to say. All right.
I'm in the spirit because Thanksgiving is less than a week away now.
It is.
Oh, such an exciting time of the year. I love what I do. I love that I get to be at the Christmas tree is going to be up soon. I get to work next to the tree. That's my favorite time of the year. Oh, man. I'm pumped. Anyway, we're going to be talking Disney. We're going to be talking about some fun stuff happening down at Walt Disney World. We're going to tempt you with getting down there. Now, there's rooms to be had. If you do like a Rubik's Cube and have a secret formula, we can find you a room. We can do that, but you got to use a little creativity this time of year, but it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about some good food, some great events, and just make that trip. We have a lot of folks going down. I know Mark Yerk's heading down soon. We're going to get you set for a great trip as well. So to do that, let's talk. Let's have fun. Ricky from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. What's going on, Ricky?
I'm ferociously cleaning. That's what's going on. The fam is coming.
There, right? They're there now.
No, they come in tomorrow. So, yeah. The fam is coming, and I'm ferociously cleaning, and I'm also hoping I can sneak away tonight just so I can see the Crimes of Grindelwald. So we'll see. That's a Harry Potter thing, Mike. Don't worry about it.
Is that like the Fantastic Beasts or something?
It is the Fantastic Beasts. Yeah. So I'm hoping I can sneak away tonight. The big thing is I'm hoping I need to be able to pump Brian with enough caffeine so that he can stay awake late enough so that we can watch Crimes of Grindelwald without him falling asleep during the movie. This is hard because we just saw The Grinch this last weekend, and it was an hour-and-a-half movie, and he still fell asleep through part of it. So I feel like I'm married to Steve Forrester because I know Steve can't make it through movies either. So, it's just for those things where it's like all of a sudden I'll feel him like kind of nod off, and I have to push him and wake him up a little bit. Yeah. Super fun.
That's when you're comfortable with life. You just fall asleep.
I know he can literally fall asleep anywhere. Brian totally can fall asleep anywhere. I don't understand how he does it. But
Steve can too in the evening. Once it reaches the evening,
yes,
if he's just sitting there. If he's not engaged in something, then he could definitely just fall asleep. That's why we try to see a movie. I don't know. We try to hit it before it even. There's the increased rates. He comes home from work early. Yes. We get it before 6:00, and we get matinee rates. So.
I'll say, you're the old matinee folks.
That must be an old man thing because Brian's getting up there now.
I love
at our theater is a recliner.
You guys have the recliner.
Oh yeah, those are too comfortable. That's not even right. They're just begging you to fall asleep because it's more comfortable in my chair at home at our theater. Right? But our pastor, I love him at church, and I know his wife listens to the podcast, and sometimes because I run on Sundays before church, and it's warm in there, and it's comfortable. I mean, the chairs aren't super comfortable. We don't have pews; we just have chairs. But you're getting kind of hungry for lunch as the church service is wrapping up, and it's like sometimes, man, it's tough. But then he always jokes about it, like, okay, wake up, this is the important part of the sermon. And I'm always like, oh my gosh, did I fall asleep? Like, I always have to go to the guy who's like, was he looking at me? So anyway, yeah, it's scary. Anyway, Pam Forster, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. What's up, Pam? Holly time of the year. We love this time.
I know. I'm so excited about this show. There's so many things I'm looking forward to this year. It's like this year more than ever. Like I could do the Disney commercial for this time of year. Like this time more than ever, you'll want to be at Walt Disney World. I mean, just so I will tell you, this is how crazy the obsession has gone. The ultimate Christmas time package that is out there. I know that some of you have read about this and whatever. Well, let me just tell you that when this came out, okay, me, who has an annual pass and all these other things, like whatever, I am still like, thinking about this package in my mind. It includes so many exclusive events that I've totally thought about doing this package about 2,500 times. And the cool thing is, for those of you who haven't ever heard about this package, you're like, what is she talking about? Ultimate Christmas time? Is this something she's made up in her head? No. The people at Disney who spend millions of dollars of marketing, they came up with that name on their own, the Ultimate Christmas Time Package. So I'm just saying that's a cool thing. But so what it is it's a special package that is available only, there's 5 nights and you have to book it for those 5 nights. It's December 17th through the 22nd. It includes a package that includes your stay and your tickets and things like that. But it also includes exclusive entry into events at almost all of the different parks. You have an evening event at Pandora and at Toy Story Land and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. I mean, it takes all the holiday events, and guess what? You don't have to worry about whether you bought the Candlelight Processional package or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party tickets, because those are all included. So anyways, I just wanted to mention it. It's just such a really cool thing. If you haven't heard about it, ask one of your traveler counselors about it, because I might be there with you. Just saying.
And you get a dinner at Epcot. There's like an early and a late seating, depending on availability. I don't know what the availability is right now, but so you're right. I mean, it hits all 4 parks, and you're getting those. If you go this time of year, for most people, maybe it's your first time trip and it's just, this is how the schedule worked out for you. But I think a lot of veteran Walt Disney World travelers, if you're going down, say from mid-November to the new year, you're going to see the Christmas trees and the decorations and the different background loops and all the special events that are going around, treats and stuff that we're going to talk about today. But I think, Pam, this is what, you mentioned this, and it is kind of the ultimate deal, because what it is, because when you put all these components together, and you can't like put a price on some of these things, like the dinner at Epcot, that's hard because it's not general public.
Right.
Because you're getting a lanyard, so like you're getting VIP access, which I think there's something to be said for that, because you're not fighting against the general public.
I think that's exactly what it is. Sorry, it does not include the Candlelight Processional. I meant the dinner. You're absolutely right on that one. But no, so like typically when people are booking last minute trips, one of the things that's kind of challenging is what's available in terms of Fast Pass Plus, attractions. Like, am I going to get to ride Slinky Dog? Am I going to get to ride Flights of Passage? Guess what? You are when you book this package, because you have exclusive nighttime access to Toy Story Land. And that's going to include, that's only the people who have purchased this package are doing this. So that's going to include Slinky Dog Dash about 55 times. So for me, I'm going to say that's going to be that for me. It includes tickets to a Very Merry Christmas Party. It includes exclusive nighttime access to Disney's Animal Kingdom Park. Hello, Avatar Flight of Passage. Guess who's going to be riding it? You are. That's a really cool thing. And it includes early morning access to Disney Springs for shopping. So hello, they even give you like shopping time without the crowds. Right. And then also you get the holiday themed buffet dinner at Epcot. So just lots of cool things. And I know a lot of people haven't heard about them. So if you're thinking of last minute trips, guess what? There's still time.
And you'll be coming to Disney Springs. You'll be coming out with all the bags on your arms like Pretty Woman. Like
you will.
Of course, you will hopefully be clothed a little better than she was when you come out of the stores.
It's
my
true.
destination after all. Anyway, so we're gonna all kind of just throw in some stuff that's happening down there. As we close out 2018. One of the things that came through the day we recorded this show, which I kind of found interesting, was that they're offering a chance to ring in the new year at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. Here's what the press release says. It says reservations are now available for the Fort Wilderness Beach Dessert Party. At this New Year's Eve celebration, your clients can delight in delectable sweets and specialty beverages as they savor scenic views of the Seven Seas Lagoon. The evening will kick off with an assortment of desserts, seasonal fruits, cheeses, and refreshments, including beer and wine. Let's see, you also have the opportunity to watch the stunning Magic Kingdom fireworks display and raise a glass to exciting things to come in 2019. What could that be for Disney? I was thinking about that, like when they put this out, like Star Galaxy's Edge. Okay, go ahead. I don't know if everybody's hosting that, but Disney probably is.
Yeah.
So the Fort Wilderness Beach Dessert Party. Disney has all these hard names to say. It takes place obviously on New Year's Eve, December 31st. It's from 10 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. on Clementine's Beach at Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. It's $99 per adult, $59 per child, ages 3 to 9. Gratuity is not included or required, and you just make your reservations just disneyworld.com/dining or call the dining line. So I find this really, really interesting because, the thing is, Disney, for one thing, I've been there a lot of times. All of us have on New Year's Eve. It's a blast. It's crazy. I love Epcot. But they're giving you an opportunity to see the crazy fireworks at the Magic Kingdom, less crowds, VIP access again, cheeses, wines, beer. Because obviously most people if you're gonna drink, it's gonna be on New Year's Eve. So you get wine and beer included, some desserts. Pam, when this came out, what were your thoughts on this? Is this something? It doesn't sound outrageous. Because anything you do on New Year's Eve is expensive. That's one thing I've learned in life. New Year's Eve expensive, and this isn't too bad.
100%. I absolutely agree with that. And here's all the things. So each day, as a travel agent, Disney sends us updates on things, all the time. And they come very frequently, actually. Each day, for the past couple of weeks, I feel like we've gotten some new thing. And I'm like, sign me up for that.
Yes.
Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. It just seems like really kind of a cool thing. And especially, some of those events, like the California Grill thing, maybe you feel like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to get dressed up. I don't really want to bring clothes for that or whatever. This is something you're going to be wearing your park clothes in. Maybe you want a little jacket or a scarf because you're going to be sitting outside, but it's going to be a really cool view and you'll still get to see the fireworks. I think that the one thing that Disney has found, even though I know that this, bothers some people, is these exclusive events, people love them. And they're paying and they're going and they're enjoying them. And that's the only reason why Disney keeps releasing more, is because guess what? They're available. Now, that's not to say there aren't still places that you could watch the New Year's Eve fireworks without paying anything from one of the resorts. You absolutely could. But this is just for someone who wants additional access to it. Maybe you have a guy like my husband who's not really patient when it comes to stuff like that, or doesn't want to be with all, in this huge bunch of people doing stuff like this is right up his alley. It's casual. He's already paid for it, so he knows what he's getting. He doesn't have to worry about jockeying for position or standing there to watch the fireworks for 2.5 hours, guarding his spot for his family. All this is kind of stuff that he enjoys. So it's there for people who want it. You don't have to take advantage of it if you don't.
And the thing I thought about this too, you're seeing the great fireworks on New Year's Eve. Now, I'll be honest, I would still be at Epcot because I love the energy of the whole world being at Epcot. I love the New Year's Eve fireworks, the ground shakes. I don't like that I have to wait in line 2 hours to go to the bathroom, but you do what you do and you find the secret one, which I think I gave away a couple weeks ago. So I will say though, think about this: when the show's over and New Year's Eve is over, this is going to be if you're drinking, having some wine, some beer, some desserts, it's going to be very easy from Fort Wilderness to grab an Uber and head back to your resort, or it's very simple because you get on that back road and you're going to be at your resort. You're probably going to be back at your room within 20 to 30 minutes. Now, if you're at Epcot, you're talking 2 to 3 hours.
If that, yeah, plus, yeah. Trust me, I've been in that Epcot parking lot. It's terrible.
Ridiculous, exactly. And you're going to be like, oh man, that was the best $100 I ever spent. After it's over,
it's worth it for the parking. Yes.
Exactly. It's an easy out. And you saw the fireworks. You got a belly full of good desserts. Everybody's happy. I think that's where something you don't think about when you're thinking about, should I do this event or not? Don't forget that when the event's over. So, Ricky, give us something that you found that's going on the holiday season. Pam mentioned Ultimate Christmas Package. I got the New Year's Eve over at the Fort Wilderness. What do you have?
I mean, there really is so much that's going on with the holiday season at Walt Disney World. But the big thing is that you've got all the different food items that are are available. And trust me when I say, like, we kind of talked about this last on Wednesday, but trust me when I tell you, Disney is totally delivering on the food items this year. And it's not just because they have the Epcot Festival of the Holidays, right? And all the Festival of the Holidays, of course, they have food booths, which they're called holiday kitchens for this event. So of course, they have just a ton of options for the International Festival of the Holidays. You've got the Feast of the Three Kings booth. You've got the Holiday Sweets and Treats booth. You've got which I think that one has really good. Like they have a. Oh, by the way, speaking of treats and everything, they have a cookie stroll this year for the Epcot. There's so many festivals. Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. And so what you're doing during this is if you stop, you get basically a passport. And if you stop and get a cookie at, I think you have to get 6 cookies. You can go to a particular booth and get your 7th cookie, which is a completer cookie. And of course there's a completer cookie, right? Like,
I've not heard about this. Are you kidding me?
No.
There's a 7th completer cookie? You gotta be kidding me.
No, I'm not. It's totally a true thing.
I want to see this board meeting. Okay, so we get them to buy 6 cookies.
Right.
The 7th completer, they draw on the whiteboard with the big brown expo marker. Yeah, okay.
So, you have the completer cookie, but there's also a ton of other options because not only does Epcot have options, but if you go to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, you have options there as well. They kind of rolled out a bunch of different things for guests for Mickey's Not So Scary, and now they've done it with Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So you can there are some things that are themed around Wreck-It Ralph, the new Ralph Breaks the Internet. So there's like a vanilla pea eclair, but then a Sugar Rush jumbo cupcake. Of course, you've got to have a cupcake, right? But there's also things like a Mickey Mouse cinnamon roll with green icing and a Mickey Santa hat. You got peppermint treats like peppermint soft serve snow cones, or peppermint soft serve cones and peppermint soft serve sundaes at Storybook Treats. Of course, you've got a churro that's red and green with sugar on top. So
it looks so good. I love churros, and it just looks great.
And of course, you have the Yule log. It's kind of like a chocolate Yule. This thing, oh my goodness, looks so good. It looks like the Swiss rolls that they have. It looks like just a giant Swiss roll. It looks delicious. Now this last thing, it's available at Anti-Gravity's Galactic Goodies, and I'm not sure that I want to try this, but it is the Christmas cookie milkshake. I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm in. I don't even know what's in it. I'm in.
It's a cookie butter milkshake with cotton candy and a Mickey marshmallow paper straw.
Oh, dude, I'm out. That's gross. That's gross. Just ruined it. I take that back.
It sounds so gross. So anyway, lots of great choices with Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. And then moving over to Hollywood Studios, they've introduced a whole flurry of fun with the Flurry of Fun event that they have going on. So of course you can get things at Trolley Car Cafe that are themed. You've got these Santa macaroons, or I guess macarons, because macaroons are the other kind of thing. You have gingerbread pops on a stick, which sounds delicious. Olaf cupcakes, because you got to have something Olaf. Frozen hot chocolate, which are, hot cocoa, I guess I should say, which sounds delicious. But the thing that I think is the most interesting, and the thing that I think intrigues both Pam and I,
the pine cone,
is the chocolate chestnut cone. It is basically chocolate kind of chestnut shaped like a pine cone, and then it's got a praline leaf on the bottom. How amazing does that sound? So, it really seems like all the parks have something delicious especially for the season. So you're absolutely going to want to make sure you go and stop and pick up at least one, if not 50 of these items.
Great, right?
Rick, you did a great job of kind of giving us, there's so many other things.
There is. I can't name them all. It would be the full podcast. I'm just saying. So,
so many things. So, just drop by the mouse for us. It's going to be blogs and stuff moving, over the weeks coming forward,
yes.
Get into the holiday season. There's some great stuff out there. But Pam, let me ask you this. Okay. So you kind of mentioned that this was like a Disneyland thing with the specialty treats and stuff, and they've totally just gone bonkers this year over any other year with this kind of food. I was thinking about this, a couple things I'm thinking why this happened this year, because I was trying to think what's the why. So here's what I came up with. One, that I think there's a lot of folks that vacation like Chef Todd, that they are folks that like to go down and make dining an essential part just as much as like a fast pass for Flight of Passage or, going to meet the characters, the new dining options for that season. I think there's more and more people doing that. And honestly, I think I sound like such a millennial and I'm an old man. I'm a Gen Xer. I can tell you that. I promise. That's my family. But is this not like all the food is now Instagrammable? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Is that not what this is? I mean,
100%. It is absolutely. What can you Instagram? I'm sorry. I know you asked Pam, but I'm totally throwing that.
Ricky jumping in again. It's like all the questions are for her.
Typical on the pattern.
Millennial, absolutely. Pam, go ahead and answer the question now. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that they have really been doing a good job of is, first of all, giving us photos of some of these things even before they're available, so we can think about them and we can plan our stay and stuff like that. And we actually have a checklist over at the Magic for Less that you can get. It's on our blog section, and we've been putting them on Facebook too, so that people can download them. But we included some of the photos there. But there's just some really interesting food, and absolutely, they want you there setting up your shot with whatever you purchased, and the castle in the background, or Spaceship Earth in the background, or whatever from Pandora in the background, and they want you taking that shot because there's some great looking food here. And that cookie shake that you mentioned, I don't know what a cookie shake is, but I like cookies and I like milkshakes. So,
but you heard what was in said shake, and I don't know that it's very appealing.
The was on top, like you saw.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So
yeah, okay.
All right. Things on top, and like the cotton candy thing or whatever.
It's definitely Instagrammable, that's for sure. Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely is going to be. So I think they're just really thinking about it. And Disney, of course, is not the only destination doing things like that. I mean, everyone's hoping that they get as much play on social media as Disney does with some of these creative things. I mean, first of all, if you went on Instagram and searched for churros, how many photos do you think you'd get? Yeah. There'd be thousands upon thousands of pictures of churros. I mean, when we went out to Disneyland, you can best believe we tried the pumpkin spice churro. There was like a Maleficent churro. I mean, that's cool, and people are going to want to see that.
Disney though has to be. I love like the business of Disney too. That I think that's why I got into this, because like Walt Disney World is its own city. It's got these different experiences at each resort, and you just 24/7, 365 stuff going on, to keep the place as magical as possible. I love that. But then I think about this. I try to think about like, what do these board meetings look like? And so when they come up with this and they see the lengths, the guests. Now, these are not Disney employees anymore, because like 10 years ago, these were, they had to hire probably really nice photographers and marketing people to say, how can we creatively get this item out there to generate buzz? Now, I mean, it's come so full circle now. You paint a wall purple and bam, you got people standing there. You paint this wall with like a couple accents, boom, people are putting, and then you get then you're like, well, let's go to the next level. Okay, there's a food stand next to the certain wall that we, are going to make a, fuchsia or whatever. So now we're going to have like a Slurpee or something, it's like, boom, and it's right there. It's everywhere on social media. So Pam, I just think they have to be laughing in these meetings that, I mean, the guests are selling it, which I think if you're a good company, the guest experience, if you have a good time with a business or in a place, you're going to want to share that. And I think that's what's happening time and time again with Walt Disney World right now.
There's not one company in the world who doesn't wish that they weren't getting more love on social media without them having to do. Look at these Disney folks are genius. You're purchasing the thing from them to share on social media. Are you kidding me? I often wonder what percentage of these are posted by folks that are like Disney bloggers. Like seriously, that has to be a super high percentage because there's so many Disney bloggers out there. But I mean, it's fun. And it's not just Disney who does it. Like think of Universal with those awesome milkshakes that are available at Toothsome that have a dessert as a topping on top of the milkshake. Mike, remember? The peanut butter one and jelly one that had the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It had an Uncrustable as a topper for your peanut butter milkshake. So, I mean, that's kind of funny. But, I mean, there are so many places, like there's, there are restaurants all over the country that just specialize in doing something outrageous or something incredibly memorable. And of course, Disney would be dumb not to take advantage of that. So, but the great thing is, I kind of feel like we're benefiting from this. I mean, I'm saying, when I'm looking at the flurry of fun and the list of food that's being offered there, as compared to even last year.
Yes, absolutely.
It's doubled, tripled, quadrupled in size. There's just so many interesting things. I mean, last year they had, what was all the rage, was a little adult hot cocoa sampler that you could try. And that was cool. We were really looking forward to it and we tried it and it was good. Hello. There's like 100 things that you can choose from this time. And they're so cute. I mean, hello, did you see the Santa belt macarons? I mean, they look like Santa's belt. They're little red macarons and they have a little Santa belt on it. They're doing a good job with them. These are so much more than just a simple cupcake, my friend. These are desserts that people have spent time on.
Well, ma'am, your family's trained as well. Like you do not. This is like it's kind of a joke with our group.
Brian's trained. Brian is trained.
When the food comes, you do not dig in. You're like,
I've actually trained my brother too. Yeah, I've trained
crazy, but I mean, but it's so pretty. You almost have to nowadays. It's crazy, especially the desserts. I will throw in this one quick story because doesn't Beach Club now have kind of shakes that rival the Toothsome shake?
They do. They have a few. Yeah, they do.
I call them the excessive American shakes is what my wife and I call those. But so that one night that we were over at Universal and I had that shake from Toothsome's because I had to get it. I got the thing. We walked from City Walk back to Cabana Bay or wherever Cabana Bay, and I finished it about the time I got back to the room, and I had to do some work back in the room that night. So I called Disney Cruise Line to do some work. Kat answered. I talk to Kat all the time, and she's like, "Are you okay?" Like she could hear on the phone. I'm like, "I'm in pain." I'm in pain. She's like, "Are you seriously? You're all right?" I'm like, "I'm at Universal, and I just finished one of those big shakes over at Toothsome's." I was like, "I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was sitting on top of the thing as the finisher." She's like, "Are you kidding me? You had the whole thing?" I'm like, "Yes. I'm not going to eat for a month." But I'm in pain. So if I can't finish this call 911 because I'm dying here. It was crazy. Like my stomach was hurting so bad because I chugged that thing on the way back. Anyway, so Ricky, I want to ask you about this too. Another thing that's happening is this event. It's one of those things. It's like an event inside an event at Tony's Town Square. In Town Square, there's a special event going on during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. So tell us about that.
Okay, so this is the Tony's Town. It's got again Disney with their names. They keep naming things just really long, elaborate things. And it's like, can't you just name it like two things and have that be that?
I have a sweet acronym. That's the deal.
Okay, it's called Tony's Most Merriest Town Square Party. Come on. Yes. Anyway, what it is so you're going to a hard ticket event and you're paying extra to attend a hard ticket event inside a hard ticket event. That's what this is.
So awesome. I mean, but you know what? I mean, there are reasons why this makes sense.
There are. All right. So here's what you get. You get special sips and light bites, as well as irresistible treats. So, that means beverages, food, charcuterie boards and stuff like that. And then all the desserts you can possibly want to eat. You also get a reserved viewing spot on Main Street, USA for the Mickey's Once Upon a Time Christmas Party or parade. And this is in the second parade, not the first parade. So just know that going into it, if you're planning on this, you're going to have to be able to stay awake for the second parade. So I've known
that's why you're good. Well, I guess it could make you sleepy, but it's
I guess so. So the food options include artisanal meats and cheeses, Tony's famous meatballs. I didn't know his meatballs were famous, but apparently they are. Many hand-tossed pizzas, Borison stuffed artichoke. Yes, please. Then sweets include pumpkin tartlets, Yule logs, because duh, cannoli, Christmas cookies, and red velvet cupcakes. Again, like I said, there's complimentary. That's right, I said complimentary beer, wine, and non-alcoholic beverages. And the party takes place from 9:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. So not only does it goes after Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party too, because the party ends at midnight, so you get to stay and just stuff yourself with desserts after the party is over. Yes. It costs $99 plus tax for all guests. So that means if you're 3, you're paying $99 plus tax. If you're 73, you're paying $99 plus tax. And of course, admission to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is required to attend. The check-in takes place at Tony's Town Square podium beginning at 2 p.m. And the dining offerings are all served inside Tony's Town Square restaurant, but guests are going to head to the viewing section at around 11 o'clock or a little bit before that for the parade. So that's all. That's what it is.
So, I'm torn on this one because it does sound really cool. I like the snacks. I like the prime location for the second Mickey's, the Once Upon a Christmas Time, a Christmas Parade. I like that, but I'm paying $100 to go to the Christmas party. I got my free cookies and hot cocoa going on all night around the clock. I mean, I'm not doing this, Pam, but give us your thoughts on this.
So again, I think for my family, when we're going to the Christmas party, one of the things we love to see is the parade. The other thing, and this has prime viewing for the parade. Yes. I mean, we're going to be in one of the best locations to see this parade. So I see that as having some value, and it's really challenging to place, a money amount on that, because think of how early some people line up to see the parades. Sure. Like, how much is an hour's worth of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party worth? So think about that. The other thing is there's going to be food set up that you can go and eat, and you can come and go as you like throughout the evening. And it's not just food. There's also going to be alcohol if you choose, to do that as well. So when you're starting to put all of this together, I'm like starting to add these things up in my mind. And at first I was like, I'm not going to pay for that on top of it. And then I'm thinking, I might consider that. I mean, really and truly, especially if I'm really looking forward to that parade.
Yeah, it's a big blowout splurge because, I think that I can still get a decent spot for the parade. You do got to camp out a little, but for the second parade, probably I could do that rather easily. But it would be, it's again, if you want to feel very VIP and have a cool experience. I mean, this is like, again, we talk about Disney saying ultimate Christmas, this and that. This would be kind of an ultimate Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party experience, which, hey,
it would.
And it's not affecting me. If I don't want to do it, it's not affecting me. So it's not a big deal. I want to throw in a couple of things here because we're getting a little short on time, but a couple of the things I've seen as far as holiday items that I would like to have, like as far as merch, the cutest, and I'm not a popcorn bucket guy, and I know a lot of people go crazy for like the AT-AT, and there's been other ones over the years. I think there's Oogie Boogie or whatever that guy is from Nightmare Before Christmas. That one a couple of years ago.
Good job.
But the alien in the Santa suit, like that one. Oh, that one's cute. Like that one I would buy. I hate to say that because I don't want to waste my money on that kind of stuff. Because what do I do when I get home? Right. But that one is super cute. And I've seen, over the past few years, they've had those kind of glow necklaces where they when Toy Story opened, they had the green aliens that kind of flash. And over the past years, they've had like Christmas lights that you wear as a necklace. This year, they're holiday bells that light up too, which I think that's kind of an interesting take. So, Ricky, have you seen any merch that looks interesting over the past few weeks?
I mean, when I was actually down there for Halloween, they had merch out already. So they already had just a ton of adorable stuff theme. I was trying to think of what some of the things were that I saw. They had a lot of ugly sweaters because, of course, nice. That's the whole thing. The one that I found to be the ugliest, though, it was it was like it had fake suspenders, and then it had like a Santa like design bottom to it. So it was just a sweater, but it had like the his red belt and the red like pants, like it looked like red pants, and then it had two like pockets on the sweater, like in the front, and then the top part of the sweater was black, and then it had a hood to it, and I think the hood had mouse ears on it. I was sitting there going, who would buy this sweater?
You wear that to work on like the day before Christmas vacation. That's it.
Oh my goodness. It is that is definitely. Oh, and it had at the end of the suspenders, I put that in quotes again, it had little bells, so you'd be ringing all over the place as well with this. So I mean, you got to have that. It was just it did almost take the cake for definitely the ugly sweater contest for sure. But they definitely had some cute Minnie Mouse ears and stuff like that, because it's all about the ears right now too. So they are bringing out the good holiday decor. They have some light up like Christmas bell necklaces, so you can light up everywhere. Of course, they have some really cute Santa hats. They have a really cute collection of like silverware and and plateware and stuff like that to choose from as well. They've definitely got some cute stuff this year. So, oh, Mike, I'm gonna buy this for you. There is a hat, okay, and it has antlers.
Yes.
Going out the side, of course, because why wouldn't you? And then it says "Light Up the Holiday" on the hat, and then it has Christmas ornaments, and they're Disney themed Christmas ornaments. So they're like it's a small world. They look like cute little
like attractions.
Oh, yeah, they have like cute little some attraction ornaments hanging off the antlers. So that's that.
Hey.
Man, I gave away my Christmas present to you now.
That's it. We got that coming up. You got to write that stuff down and not say it out loud.
I'm so mad. I can't even do it now. I've ruined it. Okay, well,
I'm trying. Bottom line is, with all this information that's coming out, these great snacks, these great, the party, just so much going on. Like, I am really, really trying to get down there because my annual pass expires at the end of the year. So we all have annual passes till January 1st. So I'm trying to sneak down with just Mallory, since she's homeschooling, just for a few days, go to a Christmas party, have like 3 days in the parks. But she's cheerleading now, and she can't miss any practices because they're like in the main part of the season. They're all mandatory, and she has practice on Wednesday and Sunday. Like, could you have it at worst time? Like, why can't they have it like Monday, Tuesday, where I'd have a 5-day, block to go?
Right.
It's killing me, but I'm gonna make it happen here. It's getting tight, but I'm gonna make it happen. So, Pam, have you seen any merch that looks interesting to you on social media?
So what's funny is the popcorn buckets. So whenever I saw this craze of the whole popcorn buckets, I was like, popcorn buckets? Like, first of all, how am I getting this home? And what am I going to do with it once I get it home? Well, let me tell you, I saw when we were in Disneyland, the balloon. Okay, that popcorn bucket.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so adorable.
So then, and I thought,
did you buy it?
Oh my gosh, I really like that, but what am I going to do with it? And then Hannah saw the Oogie Boogie one. She loves Nightmare Before Christmas. So we're waiting for the parade one night at Disneyland. Who comes rolling back with Oogie Boogie? Hannah.
Oh my goodness.
How are we getting that home? And then we met one of my agents, Rick, out there at Disneyland. And I was talking about how I love the balloon popcorn bucket and stuff. And one of his daughters bought it for me, and I would loved it so much. My God. I'm looking at it right now. It's in my office, but it looks like a Mickey balloon.
I love
really
those.
A Mickey balloon. Adorable.
But but they don't sell it at Walt Disney World, so I can't get it, which is kind of a bummer.
No, it's kind of sad. But anyway, so love that. But I mean, I like to try to buy things that are kind of going to remind me of that trip. So like if there is some kind of holiday merchandise or something, I'm not bringing home any more popcorn buckets, I don't think. Unless I get there, I know the
until you get suckered in.
Yes. Yeah, that alien one's adorable. So anyways, but I really want to see, like, will there be merchandise specifically from Toy Story Land that really kind of catches my eye? Because this is the first year it's open for the holidays, and I would love to bring home something like that. But, I mean, there's going to be something. I want something that says the holidays. I love, the different ears that sort of celebrate the different holidays. So we'll see. I just think that Disney has been doing a better job of really bringing us, event-specific merchandise. And of course, it seems event-specific merchandise. Of course, they're going to do that. Well, for a lot of years, there was not a lot of stuff, not a lot of new stuff. It was the same stuff you had seen throughout the year. So I love that we're seeing more of that.
Absolutely. There's so much going on. And I think, the thing is, I always look for trends. How's Disney trending? Are they trending with more fun stuff? Are they doing, more generic stuff? Or are they trending for more events, less events, as far as specialty things you can experience? And they're definitely trending towards, in my opinion, they're trending to great experiences for veteran Walt Disney World travelers. They're giving you a chance. If you've been there 8 times in the past 10 years, they're forcing you almost to go down that 9th time, because you've been there and you've done this and you can say, oh, I've been there, done it all. You know what? You haven't, because there's 18 different new things. There's 38 different snacks to try now. And there's, 3 different, specialty events you can go to, which I think is great because getting back to Walt, he always wanted to be changing and new experiences, and that's what's happening. And it does give you an experience to go back. And a lot of these things, you don't have to do. You could go down there and do Walt Disney World just like you could in April or August. But this just gives you an opportunity to, celebrate the holidays, to have a totally different experience on a Walt Disney World vacation than you'd have any other time of the year. And just, really celebrate. It's a great, because the weather's cool, but it's not cold. It's a great time to go down. It's really, for folks that only go in the summer, like I did for years because of teaching, when you get to go down in December and get to experience the parks at night with a jacket on, it is kind of magical. There's something to be said that you're not getting frostbite like you do, most times. A couple of races I did, I felt like, but you're not getting frostbite like most places in the United States in December. It's cold. Down there it's cool, and it's kind of fits the theme. It's almost like it's themed. There's a little bit of flipping, have hot chocolate. It's really cool. So great time of the year.
And if nothing else, if this hasn't inspired you to go this Christmas, because I realize not everyone can pick up and go within weeks, think about booking for next year now. Let me tell you, 2019 is going to be a very busy year.
Yes.
So if the holidays is something that you've always wanted to experience, I want you to be able to stay at the resort you want to stay at, or at the room you want to stay at. Make reservations now. Reach out to your travel counselor. $200 is all you put down on things. And I often mention that to people because people always think the deposit's got to be more than the $200. But it's $200 to reserve your vacation package, and then you can think about it. Because next year, after the big announcement as to when a certain land is going to open, it's going to explode, and there will be no availability.
No.
So.
That's a great point. That's a great, the deposit's fully refundable until 31 days prior. So really, there's no risk, get it. Golden ticket, at this point. So lots more going on. We didn't get to everything, but this is kind of a sampler of all the exciting, not all the exciting stuff, but some of the exciting things happening.
All the exciting food. Was that what we talked about?
Debbie,
we did.
What I need. Ricky got me wanting some of those Swiss rolls up at Schnook.
Oh, I love the Swiss rolls.
I know, killing me. But they do have the little Christmas trees out now. The little Debbie little Christmas trees. Those are good.
Yeah,
I don't think those are the same.
Yeah, well, they're not the same. I'm in Florissant, Missouri. I'm not in Walt Disney World, so you do what you do. So anyway, we're going to get out of here and check out all the great stuff. It'll be over the Mouse for Less over the next few weeks. Lots of great holiday, tips and happenings over there. So check that out. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. When it comes time for the next Disney vacation, whether it's this holiday season 2019, whether you want to take a cruise, head out to Disneyland to get your Mickey balloon popcorn bucket, going on Adventures by Disney, and to see the world, drop by the Magic for Less. They're great agents. They're passionate about what they do. They're highly trained. They love the product. They love the Disney destinations. They're going to give you great service every time. So check them out today. Of course, let them know you heard about them here on the show over at themagicforless.com. Again, as you're doing your holiday shopping, it's kicking off this weekend. Please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Please bookmark that on all your devices. It doesn't take but a second more, and it really does help support everything we do here on the show. So again, Amazon.com/beourguestpodcast, and give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at beourguestmike and at beourguestpod, and drop by the Facebook group at facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, time to get out of here. Let's get on with your weekend. Hey, it's officially almost Thanksgiving. It's less than a week. I can't believe it. It's so early this year, but I love it. So it's almost Thanksgiving. Get ready, have some fun this weekend. Come back on Monday. We have a great trip report. It's a Christmas trip report from last year. So if you didn't get enough today, and I know a lot of you have the trees up already and are listening to the music, so hey, we're playing right into your weakness right there. So Monday's going to be a great show, and of course Wednesday will be listener questions, and Friday we'll get back together again. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, and we'll see you real soon. All right, that was good.
Sorry for dying.
All right, now I got to edit because you died. No, just kidding.
I know. I'm sorry.
I get it. I totally get it. All right,
terrible.
I'm going to stop these things up, and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right, see y'all.
Adios.
Okay,
See y'all.
bye.
Bye.
Bye, Facebook.